So we're at the Reed Gold Mine in Midland, North Carolina. This is inside the museum, visitor center area. We're gonna go do a self-tour and hike these trails. There's about 3 miles of trails out here. So we just want to film inside here first, but we'll hit the highlights up and get. So guys, we decided to do this self-tour thing. This is one of the mine shafts, but as you're approaching this, it's like AC is on.
Yeah, feels great.
I mean, it's a hot summer day, but this, you can feel this cold air coming out. This is awesome, man. So yeah, we're getting ready to go in here. It's called the Linker Addict. So let's go check this out.
Right now, according to what we were told, this is 50 foot underground from the surface. Pretty good ways.
Yeah, this is really cool to be down here in this mine shaft. These are restored.
They feel good.
Because back then they didn't make them safe at all, you know.
No.
But they came in from up there
Somewhere.
into this shaft, the Linker shaft. So yeah, you guys need to come out here to the Reed Gold Mine. The first gold rush, the gold found in the United States was here in North Carolina, the Reed Gold Mine, on his farm, John Reed's farm. And they found, his son Conrad found that huge 20-some pound gold rock, and he used it as a doorstop. They didn't even know it was gold until a jeweler came through town and purchased it for $3.50. Later sold it for $3,600 back then in the early 1800s. That started the gold rush here in North Carolina. So yeah, really cool to be here to see that. That's kind of like what it would look like them using a drill system to go into a vein in this gold mine. And then they used explosives to blow up sections too. But what's cool about this area is so much gold came in North Carolina. You know, at first with this gold rush that started here, that they had to build the Charlotte Mint. Another mine shaft right here. It's called the Morgan shaft.
Look up.
And way at the top, that is one massive shaft. So yeah, they had to build a mint in Charlotte. Farming was the main thing back then. But mining, gold mine, and the gold rush created mining operations that employed so many people that it came in number 2 just behind farming in the state in the early 1800s. Then of course later on in the 1800s, the California gold rush shut out North Carolina. And then of course the Civil War happened, and then mining kind of faded away. And but really cool.
It is cool.
There's a hole right in here. You can't see it good in the woods, but that's called the engine shaft here on the property. The deepest shaft, 110 feet. Pretty cool. And then you'll see piles of mounds of rock in the distance, but you really can't tell it. But the piles of rocks was discharge or waste rock from the mine. They're often found at mine exits and entrances. And then now trees have grown, it's grown up, and it just looks like a mound of dirt with trees all over it. But here's a closer one. That would have been a mound, but you can see trees are growing out of it. Pretty cool. Let's go check this chimney out up here. Another view of the engine shaft. It's a massive hole. It don't pick up on camera well. On this property, there's lots of mine pits, shafts. They did a lot of placer mining in the little middle creek that runs through the property. And a lot of them on the property that's not accessible to the public have caved in and been grown over. But Little Middle Creek flows into Rocky Creek, and Rocky Creek flows into the PD River. But and here's the chimney. So this was apparently the mill house, engine house, mill house, what they called it. So the old chimney still stands. And then this rock stone, they had horses tied. The horses would go round and round and round and help grind rock up. That's what that would have been. And they would have so that, yeah, horses would have been in a circle and pulling this rock wheel here and grinding rock down. That's very interesting stuff. Just some more remnants of machinery back in the day. It's pretty amazing what they had to do. From his farm to a mining operation, they would often farm in farm season, mine in the off season, and his neighbors got in on it, and they hired a few slaves back then. And one named Peter actually found another massive nugget out here. And then toward the end of the mining operation, there was another 23-pound nugget found. And then I believe the one that the Peter found is still the largest to this day, east of the Mississippi. That's been documented as a largest find east of the Mississippi River. And I think his was right at 26 pounds. And then the other one, right before they closed down the mining operation, was about 23-pound nugget. So yeah, very interesting. It's worth a check out. We're gonna walk the trails, finish walking the trail. There's about 3 miles of it, and then we're gonna see what else we find. And then the cemetery is out here too that we're gonna check out, that has John Reed, his wife, Conrad, and an infant's buried there, and some unmarked graves. Just
slave named Peter found a big old nugget of gold right here. 23 pounds.
28.
28 pounds, I guess.
It's called Little Meadow Creek. It's behind us down here. This spot we're standing at is where it was found, and it's called the lake because it's a deep spot in this creek. It never goes dry, even in the summer months. So that's pretty cool. That's the Little Meadow Creek, and it looks like we're seeing some small fish in it or something. But that's interesting. And to this day, that's the largest nugget that's been found east of the Mississippi River. And then the stamp mill, we want to show you this. This was something, a cool find. Well, we're close to where we're living at. Coggins Gold Mine is in the Uwharries. You can go there and walk around. You have to just hike around. We've been there and found a lot of structures there. This is the stamp mill from Coggins Gold Mine that was brought here to be restored and to show what a stamp mill looked like. But this was not Reed's stamp mill. This is from Coggins. It would have looked something like this. That's the back side of it, but I was reading up on it, and that's what we were told. Sure enough, it's from the Coggins Gold Mine, their stamp mill. And of course they painted it and restored it once they brought it here to this historical site to show what one would look like. And this thing here, I don't know what this would have been, but we just found this. It's a platform, some railings on it, and then a hole inside. And then of course the door, the main door is behind Ethan right there. That's how big that thing is. And then this is the entrance of this stamp mill. Actually says 1895 stamp mill. That's a cool find, especially because we've already been to Coggins. And check our station out, our channel. We have a video on the Coggins Gold Mine. We actually went there and located a massive wall structure down there and some pits and all kind of cool stuff. What you're seeing behind me is a collapsed tunnel here at the lower hill. Now in Burkhead Wilderness, we see a lot of pits when we explore off trail. There's pits out there that you can tell they were digging and exploring for gold near quartz and quartz lines, I guess, or whatnot. Quartz veins. There's a lot of quartz in Burkhead and the Uwharrie. But very interesting. So what we're doing now is we're finishing up our hike. We are working our way, and we're going to try to locate the cemetery. So we can film that real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. And then we're going to go back to the visitor center, take a break, and we're going to take our time and walk inside the underground restored tunnel part for ourselves, and then head on back home. But we wanted to come out here for a new adventure, a new place we've never been. So remember, it's in Midland, Caribous County, not far from Charlotte, about an hour, 10 minutes from where we live. Another cool find. And we have never been here until now. So tons of places. We got more stuff coming up on our channel. Stay tuned. We got Lake Jordan we're gonna hit up later. Some stuff in Raleigh, and some cool stuff yet to come. Like, subscribe, and we're gonna hit our the graveyard here in a minute and show you that. The part of our adventure is not knowing where we're going.
Yeah.
So there's a map, it has the cemetery marked, but not really an official trail going. But we found an old bench, not really maintained anymore. Kind of grown up, isn't it?
Something there. A little bit
So it's kind of grown up a little bit, but we're going to stay on this trail. It used to have orange blaze. And then supposedly we got to go to cross Meadow Creek, Little Meadow Creek here, and then the cemetery should be down here. So let's go see if this is right, or we could be just roaming around.
There you go.
Well, we found something else. Tunnel 2.
Whatever that means.
Tunnel 2 sign
That's what's left of it.
was off to the side somewhere in the woods. It's grown up and caved in, but Tunnel 2 for the lower hill was back here, somewhere back up in there. You can tell it's mounds. There's mounds up there. I don't know if that's part of the trail or not, but I mean, we hiked it. There is maps and signage, but here's the creek. So yeah, the creek, you're gonna come across this trail that comes through here to the creek, but they're telling you not to go in the creek, to go the opposite way from the creek uphill back to the visitor center. What you want to do is cross the creek, and then there's a cemetery on the other side. So we were able to successfully find it. And in this creek, check this out. Part of a, has washed up, part of a griststone kind of thing. It's a moon shape now. It's broken, but check it out though. And then in this creek, we found this too. A stone has washed, embedded too. This right here.
It's solid.
So this creek has a lot of artifacts in it. They've done some archaeological studies out here too. But wow, this is cool, man. We're gonna cross the creek, and there's another round stone. Right here. They may have put these stones in to help people cross
The water's too high.
the creek, now that I'm looking at it. So those small round ones, I think, were placed here on purpose. The stepping stones when they do maybe some special guided trips or something like that to the graveyard. But that one that we showed you, the moon shape, that's definitely a wash up. It's damaged, and that was from the operations here. And that was probably one of the original, for sure. But watch your step as you cross this creek. Trails up there. You come down and cross this creek. That's Little Middle Creek, or Little Meadow Creek, I'm sorry. That's Little Meadow Creek. Now at the stamp mill, it's deep there. When they call that spot the lake, it's been dammed up. So probably, is my guess, for the stamp mill. That's why it's deeper, but cool, man. We're about to be at the cemetery. We're almost there. We'll hit you up once we're actually on site. Whatever Manson Hill is, we found it. It looks like a big, huge field. Beautiful, actually. But yeah, John got his money back, even though that jeweler kind of ripped him off that was passing through his land for $3.50. Ha! But check this out. All right, next step should be the cemetery. What a pretty So guys, Midland Field or Manson Field.
Manson
sorry.
Field.
That you cross the field, go into the field, you go to the far
Corner, right
corner, and you walk down it, and you'll see a path to your left, a small footpath. Look what's here.
Just
We
off
have-
there.
His wife Sarah is buried here. This is Sarah.
These are very old.
Yeah, 1761.
1813. No, 43. To 1843.
So that's Sarah. John is also here. This one's unmarked. That one you really can't read much about it.
Nothing on there to read, really.
This one has something.
They're just so old. It's hard to read them.
Can you read that off?
Uh-uh.
Some trees are down, but
85 on complete.
you have stones that are right here. That tree probably wasn't even there. You have a stone there. You have one here. My guess is those would be the slave workers back in the day. John, his wife, his son Conrad are all buried here. There's an infant also buried here. More stones. The tree is uprooted here, and there's a stone back there in the back. So you probably have 1, 2, 3, 4. That tree uprooted some. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's a bunch of them out here. We counted over a dozen. 13, 14, 15. Probably closer to 20 we can see stones all through here. Stones. That's a stone. Stones. More go back here. Stone. Stone. There's a stone here in the ground where my foot is. You really can't see well. Another marker up here, possibly. So yeah, what a cool find. So the cemetery, it's a good spot. It's right there where that field is. Peaceful. And then I'm gonna let him hold this for just a second. I'll try to see this one here. You can't hardly read it anymore, but it actually does say, and you can barely see it, but infant is written on it. Infant is inscribed on it, and it says Hartzell, Hartall is the last name. Middle initial M. I can't read the rest of it. If it's died July 4th, 1858. Age, it might be 8 months. So I'm not sure if anybody's got any ideas on this infant or the story behind it, let us know. And then of course, Sarah's you can still read, his wife. Mm-hmm. And John is here.
He probably buried next to her, I'm assuming.
But anyway, if y'all know of any other names that's buried out here or the stories with some of these, let us know in the comments. We find it pretty interesting. We hope people come out and keep the stories alive and the memories going. But we probably didn't do it justice, but we just want to let everybody know it was here and what a cool find on the property. And then like I said, we're going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed the video, and share, comment. That's how you can help our channel, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next adventure. Ethan's going to tell you we found an intact piece of equipment real quick.
Some sort of mill to break down rocks, I suppose. The donkey will pull it around in a circle.
Yep, so it would be set up And that was spinning around and around, being pulled by donkey, mule, horse.
Whatever.
Kind of cool, huh? All right, peace out. All right, so as we're exiting, going back to the car, they have this sign, 2 signs, this here. But check this out, I'm gonna only read a couple of them. Denver, it says Denver, Colorado is only
1,300.
Yep, 1375 miles away. And then, but El Dorado, North Carolina, 27 miles. You can't really see it good, but it's about 27.8 miles away. El Dorado is near the Coggins Gold Mine, folks.
Not far at all.
But this bridge right here, they say this is where they think Conrad found that rock. It's near this bridge where Little Meadow Creek comes in, and it tells you this is Little Meadow Creek, first gold 1799. And then the final sign on the other side here says Charlotte is about 21.6 away, New Orleans 668 miles, and then it talks about how there's some cities, San Francisco, Nevada, Carson City, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania,
all sorts, man. Death Valley.
So in the mileage
all
of them,
sorts
it's
of
kind of cool.
things, yeah.
Just something to think about. But guys, this is a cool place. And then you're mining. You can pay to mine here, $5 or something like that, and you can mine this over here. And that's a trowel and stuff. But yeah, we're back at the parking area. That was like a shagbark hickory.
That is a shagbark hickory.
Check it out, folks. We love the shagbark hickory, how it's got the bark.
There's nuts around the tree too.
And then the shagbark hickory nuts.
There appears to be some nuts.
There's a few of these in in Burkhead and Uwharrie Forest too.
Yeah.
All right, we just want to add this little piece in.